Welcome back. The election of America's first African-American president marks a turning point in the country's history following half a century of activism by the civil rights movement. But what in reality will change for America's black community with an Obama administration? Alice Walker is the Pulitzer Prize-winning writer of The Color Purple and known for her outspoken views on activism on issues of race and gender. She's joining us from Berkeley in California as we look at what a President Obama means for America dealing with entrenched prejudice. Well, welcome to the show, Ms. Walker.
Oh, thank you so much. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you with us. Thank you. Now, you've said that Obama is the change that America has tried to hide. Why? And do you feel that voting him in as president perhaps puts America on the right side of history?
Well, I think that there is a healing because he represents who has in fact lived here for many centuries, a person of mixed racial heritage. And now he is visible. He reminds me of that poem by Langston Hughes about all the years when black people were not brought to the table. When company came to the house, you made them go around to the back door. And now he is in the house, and this is a wonderful day because it means that we represent ourselves as who we really are. We have never been people of completely separate racial strains. We've always been mixed with the people who came from Europe, the indigenous people who were here, and the Africans who came.
Now, but in reality, the expectation is obviously very high. What do you expect in reality to happen as far as a change in the way the racial divides that we see in America today might actually be healed?
Well, I think that the African American community will feel more at home in America. Many of us have not. In fact, I wanted to sing the world a song which comes out of the period when we did not even relate to the national anthem. And so we had our own anthem, and I would like to sing it to the world because they would need to hear it.
Go ahead.
Is that all right with you?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound from sea to shining sea. So this is where we used to be. We used to be people who had to make a song just for us because the one that everybody else was singing did not apply to us. And now our song, I think, can really reach the world and be sung by the world because it was always inclusive.
Let me ask you then, when Ralph Nader just recently called Barack Obama potentially an Uncle Tom figure, should America be offended?
Oh, I don't think we should ever be offended by other people's notions of what is insulting to us when we know who we are. There is not an Uncle Tom in the negative sense bone in Obama's body. But there was a lot that was actually positive about this figure in literary history, which meant that he was gentle, he was kind, he was good, he was a good person. But I think this is totally sad that someone that I respect so much, Ralph Nader, would even go there.
There are many people who obviously the critics that Barack Obama has, who say that he doesn't really represent the true African-American experience because of his biracial background, because of his upbringing, his experience, that perhaps he doesn't fully represent.
He doesn't have to represent the African-American experience. What we need now is somebody who can represent the human experience, and he does that so beautifully.
Let me ask you how you think what progresses from here. What are the next step? What is the next step for him in terms of actually creating some kind of unity, some kind of healing? What do you think he should do first?
Well, I think that we should all be thinking about healing the planet, and we should be thinking about healing the lives of millions of children who've lost their parents. And I would propose that Barack Obama, one of the first things he should do is induct all these millions of grandparents who now have very little to do, and he could make a Peace Corps of them and send them to all the places in the world where there are millions of orphaned children so that the children can be taken care of. I think it is a global scandal that there are so many children with nothing, without their parents. They don't have food, they don't have clothing. And this is up to us. And if we cannot do that, then all of the celebration in the world won't make us really happy. We can only be happy when we take care of these children.
And of course, the world has been watching very closely during this election, and a lot of hopes were pinned on Barack Obama, as seen by his popularity when he traveled overseas. How does he strike a balance, though, in making sure that he's inclusive when it comes to how he deals with America, that he doesn't seem to be taking up causes, for example, the issue of the African American position, to the extent of alienating others in the community?
I don't think he's ever done that. And I think he's surrounded by people who are multiracial, multicultural, and that is what America is now. I mean, it definitely is. I don't see there's any possibility of his actually listening more to the African American community than to any of the other communities. We do have this sense of fairness that has been drilled into us actually culturally in this country.
Now, of course, you've also fought a lot over the years for gender equality. Are you looking for any kind of sign from President-elect Barack Obama on that front?
You know, I expect that all of us will have to keep working really hard to push the beliefs that we want to see forwarded in the coming years. I don't expect him to agree with us beforehand. The work is still to be done. What is really good, though, about him is that he is capable of listening. He can be very attentive, and I believe he is truly a good person, and this matters.
All right, well, Alice Walker, I want to thank you very much for joining us, and hope we get a chance to speak with you once again. Thank you. And thank you for being with us. Now, just a note that more of my conversation with Alice Walker will be posted soon on our website, aljazeera.net/English. Do check out what we call the Riz Extra in there, and that'll be with Alice Walker coming up, posted fairly soon. On tomorrow's show, we'll take a step back and look at America renewing itself after this historic election. Writer, commentator, and respected social activist Howard Zinn gives us his perspective on what an Obama presidency means to not only the US, but also the rest of the world. Be sure to tune in for that, and send in your questions and comments. You can always send them in advance to riz@aljazeera.net. And don't forget, of course, we've been using our chat room at livestation.com. That's a very active forum in there. I hope you can join that. You just go to livestation.com, download a little bit of software which allows you to get into the chat room, and then you're able to send in questions and comments live as we go out live on the show. Hope to hear from the chat room soon. But from me and the team, we'll see you next time.